The city of Austin has been without a city manager for 14 months now. This past Monday, the mayor released the names of 6 candidates the council has interviewed and is considering. But getting to this point hasn't been without controversy, from holding off on hiring a search firm to extreme measures to keep the candidate identity secret. In this edition of Texas This Week, we sit down with Mayor Steve Adler to discuss the process. Hello, Mayor Adler.
How are you?
Good, doing well. This week, we traveled to Austin City Hall to talk with Mayor Steve Adler about the council's search for a new city manager. Mayor Adler, hiring a new city manager is arguably the most important thing this council will have to do. Talk to me about that process.
Well, it's true. The city manager in the city of Austin is like the CEO of the company. It is the city manager or CEO that has the authority and responsibility and control over the employees in the city, the police chief, the fire chief, all the city employees virtually. The city council serves more like the board of directors. And because of that, the choice of the CEO or the city manager could be the most important thing that the council does.
And this process has been a little interesting, I'll say, starting with hiring a search firm. The council made a decision to hire a search firm that has never found a city manager before. Talk to me about why you guys made that decision.
Well, we wanted to have a search firm that would not only bring to us the best available talent from among city managers, but would also be able to reach out and find for us different kinds of candidates. Other kinds of really strong managers or innovators.
The city staff went to what some might call great lengths to protect the identities, or to attempt to protect the identities of the people who were coming in for interviews. Why was all of that necessary?
Well, remember, at this point in the process, we had some people that were willing to talk to us but did not want their employers to know that they were talking to us. So we told the candidates that we would do our absolute best to try to protect confidentiality. We told them we couldn't give them any guarantees because we are a public entity. We knew that there would be folks that would be trying and working really hard to find out their identities, so we knew enough to say that we couldn't guarantee confidentiality, but we did say we would do everything that we could.
Part of the city doing its best to try to keep those identities confidential was actually starting a meeting in one place and going to a different location to try to do interviews. Some may see that as extreme. Was that necessary?
Well, I'll tell you that the whole choreography of that level of interviews still I find disturbing. And I'm disturbed by it on several levels. I'm disturbed by it because we had told people we would do our best to keep their names confidential, and there were several people whose names came out. And I feel real badly that we had told them we would do our best not to let that happen, and it happened anyway. So there were some employers that found out that they were looking for jobs, and they found out about it because they saw tweets or things that were happening in the social media, so they never had a chance to first tell their employers. And that creates an awkward situation. So I feel badly that we did that. And you know, in hindsight, I think the way it was orchestrated or choreographed could have been better. You know, we had one candidate who came to an interview, you know, holding up a folder in front of her face so that she wouldn't be identified by the cameras. And I feel horrible that we put her in that position to do that. But we thought by going away to a hotel, we would be able to control the ability for these people that, either because of our wishes or their wishes or combined wishes, would be kept confidential a little bit longer. That was on the first day of 2 days. On the second day, when we knew that all of there were going to be so many people there taking pictures, we still had another group of folks that we had said we were going to do our best to try to maintain the confidentiality. So what we did was we convened the city council meeting in the place that we said we would convene it, and then we recessed it to go into executive session. We do that all the time. And when we go into executive session, we disappear from public view. The public can't participate in our executive session. So whether we're meeting, in fact, we never announce which room it is that we're going to be meeting in executive session. We just leave the public dais and say, and now the council is going to have some private moments to discuss things that are best discussed in private. And that's all that we did on that second day. It's just that when we went to that private space, we left the Airport Hilton Hotel and actually just went the short ride to the airport. But we did that in executive session where there was no expectation of anybody that they would be participating in the executive session, because the public doesn't do that.
When Texas This Week continues, the city now facing a lawsuit over the hiring process, the mayor shares his thoughts.